Well, welcome to episode number 37, Steve, of our Move the Needle podcast.
Very excited to be back in Scottsdale.
Found ourselves all the way north, back up here at HomeSmart.
HomeSmart, the corporate headquarters. Yes, very gracious hosts.
It's such a great venue. Like, these guys get to come to work every day, and this is their space. They got a pool table, they've got a lounge, they've got these cozy chairs, they got a bar right behind it. I'm not sure what's stocked with. But
oh, yeah.
It's going to be good. So today we're going to sit down with three unique individuals that we all feel like are moving the needle in some capacity.
Absolutely they are.
We're going to talk to Sue Berliner from Be Naked Chocolates, which we are super looking forward to, especially because it looks like she brought a goodie bag.
Yes.
We are going to be talking to Steve Hoffman, who volunteers at Saving Paws Rescue, which is an interesting story because you remember just last week when we were up at Craft 64.
Right, with Barry.
With Barry, we had from PAC 911, and they are part of the coalition.
Correct.
So
yeah.
It's going to be really cool. But first, we're going to sit down with Friends Ohana, and it's Kendall Hospenthal.
Yeah, that's right. You
That
got
is
it.
Yeah, okay, Kendall Hospenthal.
Just like it's spelled.
Yes,
And
exactly.
You are the Community Engagement Manager.
That's correct.
All right. What is that title all about? What does that
Oh,
mean?
you know, that title encapsulates a whole lot of things. I wear a bunch of different hats. The
Seems
gist,
like everybody.
right? Yeah, you know, but the gist of my position is I run our workforce development program. So I work directly with young adults who are aging out of the foster care system. I do speaking events, so, you know, podcasts, things like this. I go out and do tabling events as well, and just making the community aware and known about the statistics and make them more known about what happens when foster kids age out of the system.
Okay, so I guess we need to back up a little, Steve, don't we, right? And
A
kind of
little bit.
find out what Friends Ohana is and is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Friends of Ohana, we're a 501c3 nonprofit based here in the Valley, and we are dedicated to transforming the lives and breaking the historical cycles for youth who are aging out of the foster care system. The statistics say it all for me, truly. A lot of people don't know that over 50% of the nation's homeless population spent some sort of time in foster care. Now, to narrow that down even more, in the state of Arizona alone, currently there's over 14,000 kids in the system, and this year alone, over 1,000 of them will age out. And here are the hard statistics. Of those who are aging out of the system, 25% will immediately become homeless the moment they turn 18 and are kicked out of the foster care system. Only 50% of those who age out of the foster care system will be employed by the age of 24, and those who are have an average annual salary of only $7,500.
What are you going to do with that? Yeah, I mean, I know this work firsthand. I was telling her about a group that I've done some work with, Foster Arizona, and there's a young man that I was mentoring, and you just described his story. You know, I mean, and he literally lives that daily, getting in and out of homeless shelters and, you know, these part-time jobs that pay nothing. And, you know, it's got to suck. It's just got to be it's such a hard road. So I guess the question is, what do we do? Like, you know, people like you are spending time thinking about this.
We've had others too. I mean,
For sure.
This has been this gap. I mean, we've talked about this too. Let's face it, Kendall. 18 is. I mean, how young is even 18? That it's like the 18 is like the new 13.
Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
You're still learning a lot.
Your children,
Right.
and so I mean, so to 26, and I still think that's still young. I mean, it's really like that gap there is so critical for everybody. It's like. It's a make or break. It
Right.
really is. And they've talked about that. So, you know, what are some of the solutions that people are talking about?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things that we are doing to actively change those statistics and rewrite these cycles for those who are aging out of the system. And one of them being is through our workforce development program, and that falls directly under me. And I have the privilege of leading our Life Launch class. And what this class is...
Life Lunch?
Life Launch.
Life Launch, got it.
Yes, Life Launch, Skills for Success. So I invite young adults who are aging out of the foster care system, anywhere from really 15 to 21 years old, and they can come and take my course, and I sit down and I teach them everything they need to know under the sun that helps them transition into adulthood and take those next steps after they age out of foster care.
For example?
So, for example, resume building, job interview skills, financial literacy and budgeting, money management, emotional regulation strategies. What does that look like? How do you customer service skills? You know, a lot of these kids and young adults have no prior work experience. And so when they leave the system, what do you do? how do you maintain a job, let alone get a job, without having prior experience or anything under your belt? Not even having your own bank account. What does that look like? So when they take my Life Launch class, I help them obtain a food handler's card. So that's just one next step to help them get into the food industry. Those are typically the most common jobs we see that our young adults go after, especially just as they're getting on their feet, of course, and they have room to move up and improvement and find different jobs and other, career paths that they have interest in. And then also in my class, they'll leave with a polished resume. I can sit down and help them build that resume, what it looks like, things they should include, things they should highlight about themselves that they may not think is important that they've done in their life, but actually can be important and is valuable to some employers. I can even go as far as helping them open up their first bank account if they have any interest, a credit card. What is credit? What does that look like? So it can be all these little things. I cater it toward, anyone who walks through that door. I typically take 10 young adults per class. And each class essentially looks different because they're all different.
Of course, yeah. Some know a few things, some don't.
Absolutely.
Right? What were we gonna say?
I want to say, how receptive are they? Are they yearning for something? Are they is there excitement?
Absolutely. Most of them are typically very excited because they haven't learned anything quite like this before. And, I think about myself, to be quite honest, I almost wish in high school when I was 18 that I had some sort of finance class. What are taxes? What are bills?
What's a mortgage?
What's insurance? How do we pay these things? So that's where I'm really passionate about it and teaching them these things because it's almost a tool that I wish I had and was given. So the fact that I'm able to sit down with them and explain these things in layman's terms that makes a little more sense to them, it's pretty comforting, and it makes the real world a little less scary to them.
Because I would think, and listen, I don't know everything there is to know about the world that you live in terms of foster care, but for me, what kind of hurts my heart a little bit is that these kids, their whole lives, they're in and out of different places, and it's pretty rare, I think, that they lock onto a foster home where they get to be for a good amount of time, right? Most of these, did you have any knowledge of what's the average stay when somebody gets into a foster home? What are they there? A year, 2 years?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm unaware of that statistic. I'm sure it varies.
But we know it's volatile. That's the point I'm trying to make.
There
right?
is
It's not
high
stable.
turnover. I can easily say that there's very high turnover.
Right.
And, it's a difference of the child or it's the family that they were brought into. It's a whole mix of things as to why they leave and why there's that high turnover rate and whatnot. But as far as that statistic goes, no, I don't know that off the top of my head.
We had an amazing guest on, Luis de la Cruz, who is the CEO of Friends of Foster Care, and he gave such an amazing testimony where it's very interesting. Where he had
his own testimony,
and his younger brother, where he was got put in an amazing situation, fostered a family where they took him in, and he is their family, and his brother did not, ended up going into the group homes and bouncing around as Matthew did. And though they've just had completely different life experience, though he says they love each other, he's still there. It's like what a different experience in life when you can actually get that foster to family concept going. And so it's amazing until that something like that happens, until there's some permanency. There's going to be a challenge. Right?
Sure. How hard is it to be a kid without guidance,
right?
With
two parents, with one parent, with grandparents, and then with none.
Well, that's what Kendall and I were talking about before we started. She's like, look, I grew up in a great house, 2 great parents. I had all the things I could have asked for, and there's still things you didn't know when you when you left school.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about Hanai Coffee.
Yeah, so Hanai Coffee is a fully 100% nonprofit coffee shop that we own, Friends of Ohana owns. It's located inside of Peoria City Hall. And guess who works in that coffee shop? Aged out foster youth.
There it is.
So we use Hanai as kind of an employment hub for those who are aging out of the foster care system. We have hopes to expand more locations, maybe get a coffee truck of some sort and do a mobile hub. I teach my life launch classes at Hanai. So during the class, we actually go in the kitchen and get hands-on experience, hands-on training, making coffees, making food, customer service skills, everything under the sun. Now, I know that coffee is not for everyone. Not everyone has.
For me.
I know, right? For
I
me,
love
it
it.
is. I love it more than anything, right? But not everyone has a lifelong dream or ambition of being a barista, and we completely understand that. However, for the sake of our life launch course, it's great hands-on training since it's just it's a 5-hour class that I teach, but it covers everything under the sun. And even after completion of our life launch, they have 2 pathways they can go down. They can actually apply for employment with Hanai as a barista, or we can guide them towards one of our job placement partners here in the Valley. One of our big ones we have right now is Levy Restaurant Group inside of Chase Field. So we can then guide those young adults over there, and Levy is prepared and has been trained with, all right, who are these young adults? Where are they coming from? We understand they might need those 4th, 5th, 6th chances. They might need a little bit of hand holding, and that's okay. And we want to help them.
Yeah, that's an important part of this.
Where
whole
my
thing.
mind was going was, I mean, you may have some entrepreneurs. You're talking about coffee trucks. You may that may be your little your nest egg of all future entrepreneurs. Start talking to them. I mean, that mobile business is something that's actually doable. It's within reach of people to get a food truck. It's not like buying a building.
Plus, what I like about it, Steve, is that it's already in the system, right? And so it's not like these kids need to go out and apply for a job. You can help them. You can get them paid a little bit sooner than it would be, because it is hard to fill out the resume and jump on Indeed.com and look for a gig. Like, it sucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just a more sense of comfort for them, they're already so scared of the real world and real life and the things they're going to have to step up to the plate for. So even just bridging this gap of finding their first job and making them comfortable and teaching them how to do it properly so they have the confidence to take it on to their next job. I mean, that's all we're really trying to do.
Yeah, I think the main thing, the support. I mean, that's what everybody wants, and that's what you're offering. Where you could see where there's probably a lack of in a lot of those situations, and probably makes them feel amazing. Like you're saying, like there's excitement and people want to learn. People want to do things once given the opportunity.
That's it.
A lot of times, yeah.
So I know you just graduated recently, right, from Boise State. Shout out to Boise State.
Go Broncos.
What are some of the hopes and dreams for Kendall?
So, even just over a little over a year ago, I landed this job with Ohana and Friends of Ohana, and I never once imagined myself working in a position like this. Now, it's not to say that I'm not interested in this field of work. I didn't know that it existed, to be quite honest. So what's in it for me now? I mean, I have so many more ideas. I just want to reach as many young adults as we can here in Arizona and just broaden that reach. I've already seen incredible success from my short time that I've been with Ohana, and just seeing that impact is really inspiring to me. And so I want to keep moving down that path and move forward in the nonprofit sector and just help as many people as I can.
Is that what you like you said, you had no idea this was what it was going to be. What were you thinking about when you were getting ready to graduate? Where were you hoping you would land?
Oh, I studied journalism at school.
Yeah.
I was looking to be a journalist. I was into sports, a sports reporter. I was looking at all sorts
See
of...
you being a sports reporter.
Right?
Yeah.
And those jobs are highly sought after,
Yeah.
very competitive industry. And I had no luck after graduating with landing a position like that. But you know what? It was a blessing in disguise all along, because I would have never found Friends of Ohana.
All right. Steve, you got some fun, lighthearted questions?
A little bit. A moment, a sentence, a small action you've witnessed that no one else saw, but you'll never forget.
Ooh, that is a good
Wow.
question.
That's a deep question.
I thought of that one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I'll high five you later.
Okay.
Well, I do have one that stands out to me. I wasn't directly there, but I still speak to her almost every day and am actively involved. We actually just released her story on our own socials. This is a story of Lachey. Lachey grew up in foster care. She actually went into the system when she was 13 years old after her dad passed away unexpectedly, and left behind her mom and her 10 other siblings. After her dad passed, Lachey's mom, she was battling with depression, of course, with the loss of her husband, and she thought her best option was to put Lachey and her 10 siblings in foster care, so she did. Lachey bounced through group home to group home from age 13 to 18. And after turning 18, Lachey's case manager came to her and said, hey, you've turned 18. This is the end of the road for foster care. You can go off on your own, or how about we choose a better path of extended foster care and transitional housing. And that's where she fell into Ohana, which is our business side. She fell into Ohana's transitional housing. Her life took a complete 180. She received her first job. She started making money. She started loving herself and those who she was living with. She started making friends, all these sorts of things. And now Lachey is actually a house manager for one of our special needs group homes. So it was really just a full circle moment of how one person can change someone's entire life. And that's the biggest thing I think I've learned since working with Friends of Ohana is the power of one.
Yeah, and it's critical because I always think about, my buddy Zach, who's gone through this, and I think his whole life, the message in his brain has been, there's nobody that really wants me, right? Like I keep bouncing around from place to place, and then you show up at a place like Ohana, and they're like, we want you. We really want you here, and we want to help train you, and we want to help get you employed, and we want to help you learn some life skills on top of it. And that's got to be the transition for these kids.
It really is,
Yeah.
and that's the meaning behind Ohana. From Lilo and Stitch itself, Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. If you're blood or not, you're family to us. We all need that support system. We all need a shoulder to lean on. At the end of the day, we only have each other.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
So how can our audience help you? What could the people who, are watching right now, what could they do to help out? What do you need?
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of money, because everybody
right,
knows
I
you
know,
need money,
right?
right?
Besides donations and funds, I mean, those serve us well, obviously. The funds is what keeps our programs up and running. However, spreading the word, making others aware of what happens when you age out of foster care. That's something typically not many people know about, including myself, until I got into this field of work.
Right.
So that we have a few volunteer opportunities as well. We do different events throughout the year. Other than that, it's really just spreading awareness.
Yeah. Well, sign me up to come on in and speak life into these guys.
Yes.
It's something I'm so passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you'd be amazing at that for sure.
Love a chance to do it.
Yep.
Thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's
you're really
a
welcome.
privilege. Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do.
So,
Found something awesome.
Yeah, thank
all
you.
right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there's going to be a big old German Shepherd hanging out with us.
Does he talk, I heard?
He does.
He does. Okay.
Full sentences.
A
We'll see
talking
you in a
German
minute.
Shepherd. Amazing.
Thanks, Kendall.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Matthew Blades.
And I'm Steve Petz, and together we host the YouTube and podcast series Move the Needle.
And we're reaching out to you because we're looking for incredible guests in our community who are doing just that, moving the needle. So who are you thinking?
Restaurant owners, business owners,
Yes.
Educators, coaches.
Professional baseball, football, basketball, whatever, former athletes, nonprofit leaders, speakers, authors. If you're moving the needle in our community, we'd love to feature you on our podcast.
Really, if you're a person of impact, positive impact, trying to transform
You don't want
people's
anybody
life-
with negative impact?
No negative
Okay,
impact.
that
No
seems fair.
negativity. That's the only criteria. How about that?
All right, if you're interested in being a guest on our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series, hit the link below, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's segment number 2 of our Move the Needle podcast, and we've upgraded in a major way. We got a dog.
We got a big one.
Yeah, this is awesome.
What's her name?
Kala.
Kala.
All right, so let me back up and let me welcome everybody back to segment number 2 of our Move the Needle podcast. Back in 2012, Tricia Houlihan was a volunteer at a local community animal shelter, and she was so bummed and sad to learn about the amount of good German Shepherd dogs that were being listed for euthanasia. And so she did something about it. She started this not a coalition, she started this rescue, and now fast forward all these years later, and we've got Saving Paws Rescue here in Arizona, and we've got one of those dogs that, has been the beneficiary of this thing, and sitting in for us is 3-year volunteer Steve Hoffman from the organization. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
This is your dog.
This is my dog.
Oh, this is your
yeah.
dog. I didn't know that. Okay.
This is mine, yeah.
But she started off a rescue.
She started off, somebody dumped her in the streets of Phoenix.
Okay.
So she was about 7 months old when a Good Samaritan found her, and then she made her way to us. And then to me, and when I got her, she was skin and bones. You could count her ribs.
Really?
She was suffering from giardia, and so look at her now.
Look at her now.
So,
super healthy.
Super healthy. Great dog.
Really healthy. Beautiful.
So yeah, how long have you? So you've been with the organization, as I said, 3 years. Why did you get into this line of stuff?
Well, I actually went to the canine competition where the police from all over the country bring their canines in, and they do all kinds of challenges and stuff for their dogs. I was just there to watch, right? And Saving Paws Rescue Arizona had a booth there, and I was walking around talking to them, and about 20 minutes later, I'm filling out a volunteer form. And so that's how I got involved. But, I've always loved dogs.
Yeah.
I've had dogs growing up. Yes,
Oh,
here
did
go,
you hear him
sweetie.
talking about you?
Yeah, and I've always loved bigger dogs. I
Really?
mean, just that are active and stuff. And so that's how I got involved, and
Yeah.
I've been with them for 3 years now.
So what do you think is different? I mean, we've had a number of organizations come on that are in the rescue space. What is the point of differentiation for Saving Paws? Is there one?
It's a great question. So we focus on German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois.
I'm sorry,
Belgian
who?
Malinois.
What's that?
I'm not familiar with those either.
They look kind of like a shepherd, but they're not quite as big. So if you remember the movie John Wick, Chapter 3, Halle Berry's character had 2 dogs there.
Okay.
Those are Belgian Malinois. They're very athletic, agile. They're actually used a ton with the military and police and stuff like that, along with German Shepherds. But
I thought I thought they were German Shepherds. I know exactly because one of them. Remember, he shot one of them, right?
Yes.
One of them got shot.
Yeah.
I thought they were German. They looked a lot like German Shepherds.
They do.
Like this.
Yes. So like Shepherds typically are 70 to 90 pounds, depending on male or female. Belgians are a little smaller. They're like maybe 45 to 55. Now there's exceptions every rule because like Kala's big for a female.
Kala, do you want to leave? Do you want to get out of here?
He brought up John Wick. Are you into the John Wick?
I feel embarrassed to say, no, I shouldn't be. I've never seen a single one.
Okay, you have to see one.
Everybody says that.
Because it's all about the dogs.
Really?
It's all about the dogs.
It is.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, if you want the dogs, it's Chapter 3.
Got it.
But it starts off with dogs.
That's right.
That's the whole thing is a dog. It's the whole thing is about. That's how it gets started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one will tell you anymore.
So what else is happening at Saving Paws that's got you guys, really excited?
Well, we have 2 facilities right now, one in Central Phoenix, one in North Phoenix off of Carefree Highway. But at the Carefree Highway facility, we're actually building a state-of-the-art shelter up there. And eventually we're going to move all the dogs in there. So we're hoping it opens this summer. And we have 50 volunteers. We're an all-volunteer charity organization, so everything's, you get a tax deduction and everything if you volunteer and stuff like that. And the dogs are fantastic. We take in all kinds of shepherds. I would say 80% of shepherds are Belgian Malinois. We do have about 20% non-shepherds.
Let's talk about the shepherds. What makes them special? Why do you love shepherds? Why
makes
should
you
people
special,
love?
Kala?
Why should people want to come there and get these dogs?
Well, shepherds are just incredible. They're incredibly smart. Typically ranked in the top 1 or 2 smartest dogs.
Really?
Brightest in class, huh?
Yes, and
just so I know, I have a Chihuahua at home. Where do they rank?
they're number 4 on the bite list.
and number 1 on the yip list.
Yeah, they're yippy. Mine's not, thank God. But they are yippy.
They're very loyal.
Very loyal.
They can be very protective. Like she's very protective of my house.
Yeah.
Nobody steps foot on my property without her letting me know. Ooh. But away from the house, she's very chill. They're very versatile. So both Belgian Malinois and German Shepherds were bred as working dogs in the late 1800s. Germany had the Shepherds and Belgium had the Belgian Malinois. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And they were used to protect the flocks, and they did herding and stuff like that. And because of that, they're very vigilant. They're very great guard dogs. The police, the military, they use both breeds, although they tend to use more of the Belgian Malinois now. Because they are a little smaller, so they can be carried easier.
Yeah, a
if
little
need
bit
be.
more manageable.
A little manageable, and they tend to have less of the hip dysplasia that some German Shepherds
But
do.
can't be as strong as that. I mean, she looks strong.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine walking that property and her giving you a look like, "What are you doing here?" I think I'd be running. Where's the nearest car I could jump on?
Sorry, we couldn't dump off the Amazon packages today. Yeah, your dog freaked us out. Give me a little bit more about Kala's story and just that transition of her coming off the street and coming into your house. What was
Right.
that like?
Very typical of a lot of the dogs we get. So someone just decided they were tired of her or done with her, and they just let her go. And so she had been obviously in the streets for a long time because she was emaciated, and so we get a lot of dogs that way. And just took her in. She had no training, so obviously we get a German Shepherd. It's very important, or a Belgian Malinois, to do a lot of training.
Right.
Make sure that they're
For them and
socialized.
you, right?
I'm sorry?
For them and you.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Socialization, training. We go hiking. They're good. I can have mine off leash. They're good. The recall's great and stuff like that. So that's kind of her story. And typically we have about 40 dogs at any given time at both of our
Yeah.
shelters.
Is that the number about right now?
Yeah, that's about right now what
Okay.
we have. And we do a lot of work. We're one of about 70 animal rescues in the valley,
Right.
and we coordinate a lot with PAC. And I think you had
Yeah, we
somebody
just
on.
last week. Barry on last week.
Yep.
Yeah. So and they're wonderful. We work a lot with them. They do a lot of. They help us a lot with medical issues. So I
Yeah,
mean,
she talked a lot about that.
yeah. So we do all the stuff like the shots and the. God, that's it. Good girl. Shots and the spade, the neuter, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
if we get someone in that has like a broken leg or something like that, we really reach out to them to help with some
Yeah.
grants and stuff.
Do any of the German Shepherds that other? I'm sorry. How do you pronounce the other?
Belgian
malware. Do any of them short hair? Are they all?
The Malinois are typically shorter.
Oh, they're shorter. Do they
Yeah.
shed too, or?
I've never
Not as much?
owned one, but
Okay.
not as much.
Not
Yeah,
as much,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's kind of move towards like how do I get one, right?
Yeah.
Like so people are watching us right now, they're falling in love with Kala. What is
I mean-
how does it work to get to work with Paws Rescue and bring one of these animals home?
Great question. Thank you for asking that. So you just go to our website, Saving Paws Rescue AZ.org.
I was there today and there's like you're right, 40 dogs up there I saw.
Yeah. Fill out an application. We're an all-volunteer organization, so give us a few days to get to you. And I think maybe she's probably ready to go.
She's ready to go. You want to bring your sons over
Yeah,
here.
so my
What a great guest she was. You got to admit that, Matthew. What a guest.
There you go. She'll back up. There you go. Good girl. Thank you, Kyle. So fill out an application, and then we do a background. We check into things like that, and then once you're approved, if you have a specific dog you like, or if you just want to come out and meet some of them, then we have you come out, and then you can adopt a dog.
So what's the temperament like for a German Shepherd and these Belgian
Malinois.
Malinois. Are they good with other dogs? Are they good with children? Are they good with multi-dog households? Are they good with cats?
Generally speaking, I'm going to say yes, but every dog is a little different, right? So I would say Shepherds generally bond more to the family and are typically more versatile with kids and stuff, generally speaking. Malinois tend to bond with an individual in the family a little bit more. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, right? And both dogs need a lot of exercise. So if you want a dog to go hiking or jogging, that's a great dog to have. The Belgian Malinois probably need more exercise than a German Shepherd. But like I said, that's exceptions every rule, because we actually have a Belgian Malinois named Zoska at our
Killer
facility.
name, Zoska.
Yeah, that is very chill. Loves everybody. Probably doesn't need a ton of exercise, So we have kind of a whole range of dogs up there. We have from puppies to senior dogs, and we take in as many dogs as we can. We don't turn them away for any reason. If they're older, if there's health issues and stuff like that. We also get a lot of dogs from other shelters. Owner surrenders occasionally, strays that we take in, stuff like that too. So.
Do you guys have any big events do you guys do adoption events?
We do, and we're gearing up to start again I think this fall when it cools off, so we go to like farmers markets and stuff like that. PAC does a lot of that too, where they do big adopt-a-thons, right? And so when they do those things, we show up to their events and stuff like that too. Like I said, at the canine competition, we had a booth there, and that's how I met Saving Paws Rescue and got pulled in to be a volunteer. So.
Okay, let's have some fun toward the end of this. You ready, Steve?
I'm ready.
I want to know from both of you guys, both Steves, greatest movie dog of all time.
Wow.
I know.
This is
a challenging one.
There's some really good ones.
What was the one I just saw recently where Mark Wahlberg was in it, and he was like an endurance racer? And
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't see that one.
And they found a dog that followed him during the course. I mean, that's the last one that I think I saw. And it's based on I love movies based on true stories. It's based on a true story. And they came in second at least in the movie, in the race. But he took the dog back home with him. So that's a great family movie if you're looking for something.
I'm gonna go with the old Yeller.
You're going old school.
I'm going old school.
Yeah.
I'm going back to I'm kind of thinking for anybody.
Like Turner and Hooch.
Do you remember Run Joey Run? Remember that?
No.
There was a TV series with a German Shepherd from the military. Shout out to any of our audience. Let us know. It's called Run Joey Run.
Right.
But Old Yeller was. It really was. I still remember it. As a matter of fact,
I
could forget
was
that
a
one.
young kid and I cried at the end. So.
Who didn't? Who didn't? Right.
What about you?
I think I'm probably gonna go with like the Turner and Hooch movie. Kind of makes me think about that. I don't know. Marley and Me was a really sweet movie. Obviously,
what's the one that actually pretty funny? What's the one that the Chihuahuas and they're actually talking? They're actually the talking Chihuahuas.
Oh my
It's
God!
pretty hilarious.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but.
Beverly Hills
Beverly
Chihuahua.
Hills Chihuahua.
That's pretty hilarious. Let's put that on the list. That is hilarious.
It's added to the list. Yeah. Well, all right. So what's the website? How do we get there? What do we need to do?
Just go to savingpawsrescueaz.org, and all the prompts are in there, and we're always looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
Donate.
You're 100% volunteer-led organization.
We are. Yeah. There's about 50 volunteers that do all kinds of things there, from just coming to walk dogs. That's all you want to do, right? To we have some that are involved with the cleaning of the kennels and the administrative stuff on the back end. So always looking for volunteers. Always looking for funds, to keep us rolling. Donations of like toys and stuff like that.
And come grab some of those beautiful dogs, right?
Well,
please
I'm telling you,
adopt.
Steve,
please adopt.
I was on the website today, and there's 2 or 3 dogs that I noticed that have eyes like I'm looking into their soul.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just beautiful eyes in some of these dogs. But yeah, to your point, it can cost between $50 and $100 a month just to feed a dog, right? And because they don't eat just a small amount of food, do they?
Not these big dogs. No.
Not these big dogs. Yeah.
And I always say when I meet people and stuff like that, adopting a dog might not change the world, but for that dog, you will change the world forever.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, Steve, thank
Great
you so
job.
much for coming on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Wonderful.
awesome.
And again, she was a wonderful guest.
She was such a good guest. Well, she had treats, right? I typically stay for treats too. Yeah. And speaking of, in our third segment, look at that segue. We
talk about chocolate a lot
down and talk about Steve's favorite thing on on planet Earth, chocolate.
Yes.
Not just any chocolate, but naked chocolate. We'll see you in a minute. Hi there, my name is Matthew Blades.
And I'm Steve Petz. And together we host the YouTube and podcast series, Move the Needle.
And we're reaching out to you because we're looking for incredible guests in our community who are doing just that, moving the needle. So who are you thinking?
Restaurant owners, business owners, educators, coaches,
professional baseball, football, basketball, whatever, former athletes, nonprofit leaders, speakers, authors. If you're moving the needle in our community, we'd love to feature you on our podcast.
Really, if you're a person of impact, positive impact, trying to transform.
You don't want anybody with negative impact?
No negative impact. No negativity. That's the only criteria. How about that?
All right. If you're interested in being a guest on our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series, hit the link below, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's our third segment of the Move the Needle podcast. We're up here at HomeSmart. Just want to say thanks to HomeSmart for hosting us.
Yes, absolutely.
Super
and
nice.
Our sweetest guest we have.
This is the sweetest guest that we have.
Ever.
I mean, and we just came off with Kala. She was pretty sweet, too.
This is sugar sweet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, actually, no sugar. See, that's what makes my stuff so special. We don't use any refined sugar. Dairy, soy, gluten, grains. The craziest thing, and when you taste it, because you're going to taste something, everything we do is actually diabetic-friendly, low sugar, won't spike your sugars, insulin levels stay even keel. My general manager is a type 2 diabetic. She can eat literally everything that we make, and we make about 80 products.
Okay, so we have to back up. So who is this? This is Sue Berliner.
Yes.
She runs Be Naked, right? The what do you call yourself, a chocolate company?
Chocolatier?
Yes, chocolatier. I call myself a chocolatier, and we are a chocolate company. We do much more than just chocolate.
Yeah, it looks
desserts.
like it. Max has got a little shot of the goodies, and there's everything from protein bars to that looks like more of a fruit bar there on the right. There looks like some seeds.
Yep.
I know we're going to get into all of that stuff, but I want to get the backstory on this Sue first. How did you?
Who is Sue?
How did you get into this? How did you get into chocolatiering?
It's kind of a little crazy story.
Hit me. I love crazy.
For 22 years, I published a fitness magazine.
Yeah, you did.
And called Sweat Magazine, Southwest Exercise and Training.
Saw it many times.
And I was an endurance athlete.
What'd you do?
About everything.
Yeah.
From when I started the magazine, I was racing road bikes.
Okay.
The time it took us to run the magazine, I had to stop riding because I was riding like 300 miles a week, and there was that just didn't happen. And so then I started running marathons, and I did boxing years ago, just as a kind of as a fitness thing.
Yeah.
People would throw me in races like a canoe, like a kayak race, and I wasn't a great mountain bike rider. I did a few races and literally was in tears probably most of the time. As I finished up the magazine, I was doing a lot of I was doing more fitness stuff, physique type of activities. Plus, I was also doing triathlon training. So,
my goodness,
did literally just about anything.
Where does the desire to be this fit come from?
I think I was always very active.
Okay.
And it just was part of my nature, my DNA. So, and I took a break after I stopped doing the magazine and I started the chocolate. So back to how I ended up in the chocolate business, as I wanted to come up with some chocolate. I had met some raw food people. They introduced me to raw chocolate, and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is like amazing. I had a few bouts.
What's raw chocolate?
Raw chocolate. Well, you'll get to taste it.
Oh,
so
okay.
raw chocolate, there's nothing processed. It's not heated. So the cacao that I use is raw. So you're getting the most incredible benefit of raw chocolate.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that we do is actually cooked. It's either cold processed or dehydrated. Like that protein bar is actually just about 5 ingredients, and we actually just literally blend almonds, dates, coconut, a little bit of protein powder, and salt and vanilla bean. That's it. And it's just totally blended. The fruit bars are actually, I take almonds and honey using local honey. And the lemon is actually organic Myers lemon that is local. And we puree the whole entire thing. And then also we blend it with raspberry, organic raspberry. And we dehydrate it for 24 hours. That's basically the base is 4 ingredients: almond, honey, little coconut oil, and sea salt. And we've just come up with all kinds of products. My original product was the chocolate truffles. And one of the reasons for me wanting that kind of a truffle, I have a horrible sweet tooth.
So does this guy next to you?
Yes, I do.
I've always had a really crazy sweet tooth, and the raw chocolate was so satisfying. And so my basic recipe that I came up with is this cashew. My truffles are made from cashews, and it's cashews, cacao, and maple syrup.
Oh my God, I gotta have one.
Yes.
And
Look how pretty everything is too.
I
I
know.
must admit that, like, you make it,
It
look. I
looks
mean,
great.
it
the
looks
flavors,
so.
it's all about flavor. We are very, very picky when we build our product.
Yeah. Can you help me understand something? So, what makes this chocolate different from chocolates that people would go and buy? Like, say, the chocolate that's in a Snickers bar or
the crunchies that we talked about the other
from
show.
England, right?
Your
right.
England crunchies that I'm not sure about. So what makes our stuff different is actually that it's raw.
Okay.
So first of all, it's raw, and I'm using very few ingredients. I don't temper my chocolate at this point. There's some things there's some reasons for me to temper. So like a chocolate bar that cracks, the typical bar, it is going to be a tempered chocolate. So there's a heat,
Okay.
cold heat process that tempers a chocolate so it doesn't melt right away, kind of thing. But also what's interesting is that our truffles do not melt because they're made with cashews and cacao and maple syrup, and they're not tempered, so I don't have that issue. Some of the sauces are a little bit they're made with coconut oil, so there's a little bit of a melt factor to them, but even under the lights, those you don't see they really melt. And I could be outside at a market and selling those, and it's fine, and I ship without refrigeration across the country.
Max, you got to get a good tight shot of all these chocolates for us, man. People want to see what this looks like. So, Be Naked is the company. I'm guessing
Be
B
Naked.
is because of Berliner.
B is for Berliner.
Berliner. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but that's okay. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
You know?
And Naked is for.
Naked is for, it was raw, so that was how we came up with the name. I didn't really want raw, especially 14 years ago.
Right.
And the B is for my last name, and Naked is,
I like it. Very catchy.
yeah.
No, it is catchy, right? And you're going for that, right? You're trying to be a little provocative.
You want to be
Yeah.
provocative, and you definitely want to. It's sexy. I mean,
And it's true because it's there's nothing. It's naked.
It's naked. It's for what's not. The naked is also for what's not in our product.
All right. I have a
'Cause
few
it-
questions. That I want to rifle off. You ready?
Okay.
You better be quick because
Her
they're
book,
just hanging here.
I know, I'm going to make you wait. Her book, 99 Lessons Learned While Making Chocolate Naked, is
should've
something that
bought it.
people can buy and consume. Give me one of your favorite lessons that you learned while making chocolate naked.
Oh, you would ask me this.
I know. It's like picking a kid, probably.
Oh, this is an easy one.
Okay.
I'd rather sell chocolate than advertising any day.
Oh yeah.
Because you used to sell advertising?
I used to sell, what people don't understand is in the publishing business,
Yeah.
it's all about advertising.
We
And
we had a
and
conversation.
We
about
had this
that. I
conversation.
say like your title is publisher, but you're really running an ad agency.
You're an ad agency.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
So, but it gave me a lot of good background. Like if you really look at our list of products and the names, everything has, in general, most of the names are fairly catchy. Like what Steve wanted to try was
Which I'm going to try.
was called the Can't Do Without It.
But can't do without it?
It's a pecan and date shell filled with chocolate ganache. It is one of our top sellers.
Wow.
Its sister is a coconut macaroon dipped in chocolate called the Skinny Dipped Naked Blonde.
I love it. I mean, I was on your website, and the names are brilliant.
So a lot of that came from, it started with the truffles, and the very first truffle that I named, because when I started, I had 4 truffles. One of them was called Slow Burn.
Okay.
And that was the first name. It just kind of came to me, Slow Burn, and that one is a chocolate truffle with cayenne.
You also do Ladies' Night every last Tuesday of the month.
Yes.
And you've got another one coming up May 27th. This probably is going to come out right before that date. So what happens on these lady nights?
She invited me to it too.
Well, we actually now started a second thing too. Started a happy hour, but on Ladies' Night, we've just kind of been slowly building it, and we now have kind of at critical mass in terms of traffic and things like that. We actually just hang out. We actually do like salads, soups, depends on the time of year, and we just feed people.
Is it like
food.
a networking event, or is it
It's
more like come
really
and have
just
fun?
Come and hang out with us, enjoy our products. People tend to buy stuff, and now because we have enough traffic, we've added a charity component to it. So this, our initial charity is going to be Maggie's Place. So twofold, we're actually going to collect donations for that organization, and then also give a portion of the sales of that evening will go to that charity. And then I've got different goals set. So like after we reach a certain amount, then we're going to flip charities and things of that nature. Cool. So, but we've wanted to add that into the component, but our goal is like, move the needle, build community.
Right,
so
right.
We're building community with all these wonderful women and people that, care about what they eat, because we're very meticulous about the ingredients in our product. And those are the kind of people that are either trying to move the needle for themselves on how they're eating. Just a variety of women have shown up. I mean, across the board.
Yeah.
So it's been very fun and very interesting, and we just hang out, and then we started a happy hour where men can come as well as.
So this is what you've been invited to, Steve?
I was only kidding. I was invited myself, but now since she's invited me, chocolate and ladies' night.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
single,
there.
So
no, we definitely we feed people, and it's and part of it is in the interest of building community. And years ago, I used to be involved in a group of gals that had really no agenda, a lot of artsy, creative people. And I fall in that category. I have lots of friends in that category.
Yeah.
And so there was a group that we used to do called Wonderful Women. And we just like show up at someone's house and we'd each bring a little bit. And we don't want our customers really to bring stuff, because we do like to make sure that we're adhering to
some quality control.
Well, we say we're gluten-free and grain-free, and our kitchen is dedicated that way. So one of my friends actually, she brought some sparkling seltzers, regular seltzers, because she feels bad that she eats all our food. I'm like, well, you buy stuff from me too. So
yeah, right.
But we have a great time, and it's been very light networking. There is no really major agenda, and it's just kind of a great opportunity for people to get together and have a great time. And we don't do that much. People are not doing that kind of stuff as much anymore. So it's
they need to, though.
Yeah, I agree.
So I see these. I'm sure I see these amazing, beautiful, delicious concoctions.
Wait, can you?
No, I cannot wait. My question is this: when you guys are testing, what's the craziest concoction in the kitchen that you've put together that's actually been like, bingo, it's worked?
Oh, well, that's kind of really obvious for right now. We around my birthday, it fell on a ladies' night, and I'm like, well, what kind of cake should we do? Because I also do these crazy cakes that are, again, like doing these things without any refined sugar and coming up with making things that are similar but different. I get my ideas from that, but we have what's known as our turtle cake.
Okay. Turtle cake.
The turtle cake is kind of ridiculous. It's actually stupid delicious. We debuted it, so my pre-flight on it was my birthday, and we were pre-flighting it for an event called Devour, and it was just gaga.
Okay, and let us hear what is.
The turtle cake is a pecan, and we use basically for the cake itself pecan and almond flour, more almond flour than pecan, a little maple syrup. That's the base.
I'm already in.
Then we layer it with a date caramel, and then we add some chocolate ganache.
Forget about it.
And then we do it again.
And they do it again.
And then we finish it with a toffeed pecan. So again, we're not cooking those pecans. We're actually adding maple syrup and making like a toffee without.
That's a crazy combo. And delicious.
It is, and the cakes are all pretty outrageous, but this one has been, everybody keeps asking us to sell it, and we like only want to sell it in wholes and halves because it's more cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe.
No, we've been known to do it now. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a question that is a little bit more personal in nature. My wife is a chocolatier as well, meaning she just loves to eat chocolate. Doesn't necessarily make it. She could eat 1,000 dark chocolate covered almonds a day if that would do nothing to her body, right? Like she just loves them. So, and I'm always telling her, like, is that the healthiest thing? And so you found this way to make chocolate healthy for people. So can you give me your thoughts and opinions on dark chocolate with almonds versus maybe some of the products that you have? And I'm asking this because I think I would like to purchase some of the stuff that you make for her. It sounds like you have healthier versions of this stuff.
So I like to say we take healthy snacks and disguise them as decadent desserts.
Okay, I like that tag.
And the other thing you'd like is we always say life is better naked. That was one of the originals. But so the almonds in general, okay, but typically what is the almond is coated with is going to have sugar in it.
Yeah.
And we really, all of us really need to cut down on especially refined sugar. So the best way to do it is use products like the maple syrup, dates, or honey that we do. I am planning on starting a line of naked nuts. We're kind of ready to go.
I love naked nuts.
Be
That's
naked
so
nuts.
smart.
Naked nuts.
Be naked nuts,
Oh
yes. So, because on the cakes, we top that with a pecan that's toffeed. Well, we have a brownie that's a cayenne cinnamon chocolate brownie.
That sounds even more incredible.
We do a cashew. We coat the cashews in maple syrup and cayenne and cinnamon, but they're great on their own. So, and it's really not rocket science material. Most people just build most of the sweets with way too much sugar.
Yeah.
Even if they could cut back on the refined sugar that they use. But we figured out our own processes. Our stuff is literally out of the box, way different than anything. Like, I don't know how to explain.
Instead of explaining, when are we going to move from the
Well,
question to the trying segment? I mean, let's do it.
Do you have, by the way, a dark chocolate covered almond or something similar to that?
Not at this point.
Not at
but
this point. All right.
I could.
Let me know.
So
I
Sue,
could.
so
Let
let's
me know.
pull
Buy
this out.
100.
Pull this out.
What do we have here? Is
Yeah, what
this
do we
part
have?
of the intro bundle?
So no, this is something that I standardly sell at the market. So this is the pecan and date shell filled with chocolate ganache, coconut dipped in chocolate, hazelnut shell dipped in chocolate, pecan and date shell filled with chocolate, hazelnut shell filled with our hazelnut ganache. So we sell the ganaches on their own, just like a healthy Nutella.
This is the first time
Here
Steve's
for our
ever
audience,
eaten.
I always want to close my eyes because I can't. I want to taste that.
Yeah, close your eyes.
It's that it's healthy.
What's the difference that you notice? in it?
Rich,
Rich?
rich tasting. Was that so many people that really?
Super rich. That is one of the richest things we do. I'd like to say that that's probably an 8.5 on the scale of a chocolate out of 10.
Okay. What are some of the other things that you brought?
So this is the hazelnut shell called Crazy for Hazel. This is called the Skinny Dipped Naked Blonde. That's coconut dipped in chocolate. And if you're
Okay.
a
I'm
coconut
not a
fan,
big coconut person, so.
well, let's
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's
brother.
get you try the truffles.
All right.
We're gonna have to kind of crack through that.
Yeah,
that-
you have a lot of truffles on your website. I did notice that. You have
And that's
something
what I
that got
started
my
with.
attention was the ocean dive, which is
don't have that one. Oh, I do.
deep naked truth dives into deep naked blue sea with a pinch of salt. Chopped almonds make it a must for sweet and salty lovers. I
Max,
was like,
you can try
are you
some of this
kidding
too.
me?
This is all gluten
Game
free. This is fair
on.
game, baby.
Gluten and dairy free.
Oh yeah. Come on up.
So do you have a big kitchen where you make all this stuff?
We have a space in all.
Here, can I hold this while you open that?
Yes, you can.
Go ahead. So go ahead and answer. You have a big kitchen?
Welcome, Max.
I
Go
need a
for it,
little-
Max. The coconut, the last one.
The middle.
Middle.
The middle. Okay. I need.
Oh yeah.
I need a pen.
I mean, this is delicious.
Don't write on your white pants.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
So. I'll go through a few flavors here.
All right. How's that truffle, Steve?
Oh.
You worked that whole thing pretty
I'm
good.
nice and quiet over here, right?
Yeah, you are nice and quiet over there.
So what I've got here,
Mm-hmm.
I I have the black lace, which is my darkest chocolate.
Okay.
And it's just basic cashews, cacao, maple syrup, a little cacao nibs in the middle. This is called Pretty in Pink. It's raspberry, so it's the same 3 ingredients with raspberry. This one is called Smooth Operator, and she has got brewed coffee in the base of the truffle, and then also ground coffee. She is very, very, very nice. And then this is a super special one, and I brought this one in particular because it's got such a great story. This is called Thelma. It's anise and hazelnut.
Anise?
I know it seems really kind of strange, but when you try it, it is.
I don't even know what it is.
Anise has a slight licorice flavor to it. Anise
Okay.
and fennel are in the same family.
Oh, all right.
So anise seed oil. So the story is, I'd started this company actually right upon my mom actually passing. A year later, we were dedicating her headstone, and my family said, "You need to make a truffle." From
Thelma.
We didn't have the name until I actually came up. We were like, in her honor, right, or her memory. And my mom loved licorice, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it, see what happens. And it's really the flavor's pretty crazy on it. It is, it's.
So which one are you going to try, Matthew?
I want you to try the dark one, the black lace.
This one here?
This one.
Yeah. Okay, here. I'll give you that mic back.
You're going to give me the mic back.
And I'm actually interested in that coffee one. Sounds really
The
interesting.
coffee one is fantastic.
I just go
No,
half,
don't put the whole thing in your mouth.
Go a bite, huh?
A bite. That's a 3-4 bite truffle, if you can believe it.
Oh my God. So what's in this one again?
Just cashews. So we make a cashew cream, cashews and maple syrup,
It's so chewy.
and then we add the cacao to it. I do use a very special cacao.
I love cacao.
I use a Dominican 20 to 22% cacao that is, everything and more, but it's super flavorful, and it's just richer than most cacao that you can find. It's hard to find.
Yeah, and you know what's nice about this? I wouldn't need like 4 of these.
You don't.
Yeah, like one is going to be good for me.
Not only is our stuff diabetic friendly, but it tends to cut you shut yourself down because it's A, too rich, but B, it's so flavorful. And the aftertaste, like if you notice on your palate, that aftertaste, it's like there's no funky aftertaste or milkiness, that kind of thing.
Absolutely delicious.
Well, yeah, you let me know if you're looking for celebrity endorsers.
Yeah.
There you
'Cause
go.
Steve and I are in.
I've been listen. Past podcast, Matthew said like I'm a chocolate fanatic. And Max, how was the? Let's get some feedback on the fantastic.
Yeah.
Says
Right?
the coconut. The coconut.
Thank you.
No, I'm good. I'm not eating. They are.
I actually don't want to wash this flavor away. She's right. It's
And it just
so
builds
good.
and it
yes.
just grows. It just
It does. It kind of has this
It's-
thing where it keeps opening up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Your passion shows, and you could taste your passion.
That's
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right, so let's send everybody. How do we buy the chocolates? What do we do?
So we have a website, benakedchocolates.com.
Yeah. All
So
right.
you can order from anywhere, and we ship all over.
You do.
Absolutely. And then also, if you're in Old Town Scottsdale, we have a shop in the entertainment district in Old Town, and our address is on the website. I always like to tell people it's a red brick building. It does not look like we're going to be in that building.
But you are.
But we are.
You're there.
So the address is on our website.
Wait, are you near the podcast studios in Old Town?
I don't know where the podcast
Okay, maybe not then. You would know. They're like
So
right on the corner by
we're-
5th and Wine.
We're on the south side of the entertainment district.
Got it.
So all the bars, we're right there.
Yeah.
Basically, it's what they call the beauty zone and the entertainment district, and there's lots of bars in that area, and it looks like it's a more like an office building, but
Amazing.
we love it. We actually love to do tastings with people. We bring them in, and when they come in, and I usually say prepare for at least 30 minutes because we'll walk you through at least 4 to 12 items depending on how much time, and we want you to taste things so you know what to buy.
Can I come like once a month to do that? Swing by when I'm in the area?
I have.
Steve, you can just buy this stuff and have it at your house
exactly,
all the time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
but,
what you need
but,
to do.
But getting to taste it a bunch
I
of it
know.
and find your favorites, ooh.
Well, we
nice.
have over 80 items, and it's an ever-growing list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have 16 standard flavors of truffles, and that we have a few new ones that we're building that are Arizona-based.
I feel so good after eating that piece of chocolate. Like it's
Exactly.
genuinely done something to my mood.
You ate healthy chocolate.
It's the cacao. I love cacao.
Another favorite saying: "Be sinful without guilt."
Be sinful without guilt. Be naked.
So go to the website,
Yes.
order the chocolate, find out. What about the ladies' night? Is there information
Ladies'
on
Night
ladies'
is
day as
usually
well?
on the website.
Yep, that's where I found it.
You can also if you go to the website, you can drop your email in, and you'll get notices about the Ladies' Night and about the happy hour. And I'm actually trying to use my roots and build up the email newsletter. It's taken me a bit of time to get consistent with it because,
You're making chocolate. You got
I'm
other
making
things on
chocolate.
your
Yeah, I'm
Good,
making chocolate.
delicious chocolate.
Sue, thank you.
Yeah, thank
It
you
was
very
So
much.
good to
It
have
was
you
such
on.
it was such a pleasure.
So glad
It
we
was very
connected.
fun.
It was fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, we're going to wind down. We have more chocolate to eat, so sorry, but we're going to have
Yes.
to cut this one short.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks to HomeSmart for hosting us here today. Maybe we should leave a piece of chocolate behind for them.
Yeah,
or
sure.
something
Yeah,
like that.
maybe
Nice
several.
little thank you note or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
We'll ask Sue. She's the one that brought it in. And we'll see everybody next time on our Move the Needle podcast. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.